paper that I'm using, and I pulled out a few papers, and I just wanted to walk you through a real quick layout. I've already mounted the photos that I'm going to do. I'm going to use these 3 pictures from my grandson's birthday party. My daughter and I made him a Skylanders cake last year. He got involved with Skylanders, and we made the portal and the sheep and the mountain, and then we put a real figurine on top for him. So what I want to do is put a bright band of color here, and then I'm going to mount the pictures on. So I chose to do this green. This was the cardstock from that same card kit. So I'm also planning on doing some stitching, some sewing actually with my sewing machine on the sides here and here. I want it to be kind of rough, and so the first thing that I want to do with this is I want to rough up the edges a little bit, and I don't really even use like a sanding tool. I use my scissors unless I want it to be not too aggressive, but this I want to be real aggressive. So I just wanted to show you really quick how I do it, and then we'll fast forward. I just take the edge of my scissors and I open them up, and I just start going at the edges this way. This is, as I had mentioned, a very heavy cardstock, so we will take a lot of abuse. I almost sometimes like to do it enough to where it will slice in and make big chunks out of it. So I'm going to continue on around all the edges. I'm also going to do the same thing through the pattern papers that I choose, and we'll go through the process of putting this all together. The next thing that I'm going to do is put some stitching along the sides here, and I think what I'll do is mark some lines just to give me a little bit of a guide. See where I want to run some of the stitching with the sewing machine, and I'm going to make it very rough. I'm going to do basically, I'm going to make the stitches go back and forth. I'm going to rewind it. I'm going to go forward, maybe throw some zigzag in, and then I'm going to unravel some of it and let some of the strings hang off. You'll see some of the holes, but the strings will be loose and dangly. Alright, depending on what sewing machine you have, I just set up your sewing machine. I'm just doing a straight stitch and a zigzag stitch. I've done a few runs on here. I'm only going to do it on this side and down the side edge over here. But I wanted to show you, basically, I just make it really wonky back and forth, and then I'm cutting some of the thread and peeling it back with my scissors, pulling it out with some pins. I'm going to let this all hang down and kind of just be very loose and free-flowing. Alright, so I'm going to go and start doing a straight stitch first. I'm going to try to keep my hands out of the way here so that you can see, but I'm not going to go really quickly, and I just am going to go slow and at a steady pace and try to just play around with my stitches as I go. I'll start out going straight, and then I'll stop my machine and I'll back up a little bit because I want it to go off a little bit and be kind of zigzaggy, I guess would be the best term. I don't know the right term for this. And then go forward a little bit more. And then whenever you feel like you want to do a zigzag stitch, depending on, again, your machine, you stop. And then I go over and I'll do my zigzag stitch and set that. We'll do a few of those. Then I'll stop it and I'll go back to the other one, the straight stitch again, and just let it start going a straight stitch, and just play around with your machine. You want to do some other stitches, whatever you like to do. It comes out really cute. Just be experimenting with your machine, to be honest with you. I like the look of it the best when you just play around with it. I'll do a little bit more zigzag here. Just a couple stitches. I don't have to do much. And then change it back to the straight stitch. And I guess I'll just keep going straight just for another second or two, and then I'll just put my needle down and I'll cut it off. Lift up the presser foot, and so you can see that I've zigzagged back and forth. If there's any pencil marks left, you can erase those. And then the next thing that I do, and this is also just your own individual, concept on how you want to do the design, but I like to take from this end and pull some of these threads through. I like to leave these holes showing, so seeing that there's still some here, I'm going to pull this, but if you don't want to do that, you can leave it the way you want. Let those strings show. I also like to go partially, let's see, we'll go maybe about right here, and sometimes I snip in mid-sewing path, and then I'll take my pin. I usually use one of these T-pins, but you can use whatever works best for you, and then I'll kind of unravel it here too, midway. Then you get a new little bit of interest there with dimension. So I play around with it. I ravel some I leave hanging, and this is going to actually stay this way. I might trim this one a little bit shorter, but I do leave them like that when I mount them in. Sometimes I mount them in a shadow box, or even in regular page protectors. They go really nice and flat, so it looks cute. So that's what I did on this. So you can use your own imagination. You can use different color thread. I went with white so it would show up on the black. So we'll move on to the next step. Alright, so now I want to take and I want to put some little splatter spots around the black and a little bit on some of the matte colors with this Perfect Pearls Mist in the Perfect Pearl color. And I don't want to get any on the photos, so I'm just going to shake this up. I'm not going to spray it. I'm just going to take it out of the applicator and just kind of splat it down. And wherever it lands, and I kind of like to keep shaking in between, wherever it lands off of this area is how I'm going to let it dry. So I took the die with the word happy and the die that's for the shadow effect behind it, and what I did was I cut this shadow with just basic white cardstock, and I'm going to pretty much put the happy right here, then I'm going to have the birthday go across here. But remember when I had mentioned, if you had seen my unboxing video, this paper was in the kit, and I tried to hold this die up to the word happy, and it was like really close, and I thought, oh my gosh, it actually matches. Well, not so much. It's off just a hair, enough to where it's not usable. It doesn't line up the way I would want it to. I think you could get away with it if you didn't mind. It kind of did its own little shadow effect, but not here. So I wasn't happy with that. So I'm going to get rid of that. And I just die cut like basic black. And I'll see if that looks good enough. And then I will get another font for the birthday part. I think I'm going to use this blue. I'll show you in just a second. I don't want to tear these, so they're very easy to work with, but I'm just going kind of slow, so I don't want it to tear. So I think I'm just going to go with a really nice, that's going to be a nice clean look, so I like that. And then I think I will come back and bring out this blue for the word birthday, and probably put some glossy accents on it so that it's real shiny once it dries. So I'm going to use, I have these letters by Dynamics. So I think I'm going to die cut these out, and I will be back and we'll put birthday on there and we'll kind of finish the title. Alright, I'm going to take, I have some Stampin' Up! Crystal Effects. You can also use glossy accents. I wasn't sure which brand that I had. And I'm going to run this around the blue birthday letters that I die cut out. Some of the balloons that came in with the kit for January. So I wanted to try and see if I could stamp some words on this felt. I don't know if it'll come out or not. This was the stamp that came with it, and I thought maybe I would put maybe Love This would fit really nicely on there. You could either just stamp a little heart, but I think I want to put some words on there. See if this will work. Okay, and I'm going to use like a foam mat just in case I need a little bit of padding on top of this. And then I'm going to use archival ink. Okay, not bad.